GSL.
Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to another day here at the GSL Code S Round of 32. We're Tasteosis, and we actually have a really nice lineup today.
We certainly do. This is a great group, a fantastic group, one that could even be considered one of the groups of death, but you can say that about almost every group this season. It's so ridiculously stacked.
What's nice about this group is it's very dynamic. We got a lot of different play styles. We have Shine, who is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we got players like Solky, who are just fundamentally solid, perfect.
Yeah.
We got Younghwa, who is, he's always got an interesting storyline because he's been one of the very best since the very beginning, all the way back to the early days of Wings of Liberty, but has never made a major splash here in GSL.
No, certainly not. He's always done rather poorly compared to what his actual skill level is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have SOS himself. The $1 million man.
$1 million man. SOS is fantastic. He's really smart. He knows exactly how his opponent's going to think and how his opponent's going to respond. So he's usually able to throw some red herrings out there and mislead them.
Yeah.
And he's just got a very, very deep understanding of the game overall.
He does. He's such a different Protoss with his own style. He's hard to prepare for, but sometimes he overthinks things. I think especially against someone like Shine, he might do something that would kill a really smart Zerg, and then Shine is like, whoa, 50 roaches.
Shine might end up killing him before that actually takes effect. Shine is somebody who is, I would say, somewhat reactionary, but more so he is able to just take the helm and control the game to the very end, which for a lot of the pro gamers is really tough. I mean, some of these guys are hyper reactionary to what they see, but Shine will, before they're even able to get on their feet, have them knocked down over and over again. So it's going to be cool. I think there's a good chance Shine could get out of this group, despite there being a lot of heavyweights.
He might. He always beats Solky. Solky can't wrap his head around Shine. If I recall correctly, he has a gigantic winning record against Solky, which makes perfect sense for the way he plays. It's just so randomized and cheesy that Solky has a hard time with that. So that could be an issue for him. And
certainly
there's definitely the possibility that Shine comes out of this group.
And you got to keep in mind that with somebody like Shine, when you're playing against him, it's not even that you're just playing against this Zerg player who's a Code S player. I mean, you're playing against this specific person with a very specific player style, or play style, excuse me. And it's hard to even find somebody to prepare against that for your match. Going on to the player interviews now. We're going to interview each of our guys. All right, it's the $100,000 guy. I preferred $1 million man. It's SOS.
사실 두 마리 토끼를 잡는 건 좀 어려웠습니다. 이번에 소감이 어떠세요?
So last season it was hard to reach two different leagues in the finals, but you did it. How do you feel now?
그렇습니다.
It's the round of 32, but from the round of 32, I think I have to make my do my best.
포함되어 있습니다. 오늘 경기에서 만나고 싶으세요?
In your team, there's Solky though. Your thoughts? I do want to meet him actually, but I think he's going to go to the losers bracket. So I think there's a chance I won't be facing him today. Ooh, damn.
김민철 선수는 위에 올라가서 보는 방법이 있고 경쟁을 해서 올라올 테니까요. 일단은 김유진 선수의 우승이 목표일 텐데.
I think he's been showing been really strong in big tournaments outside of Korea, but you don't really have any GSL trophies. Your thoughts? Every single player who advanced to the Code S, they're all really great players. So it's a tough match every single time. Are there any players you don't want to meet today?
그렇군요. 마지막으로 김유진 선수의
So far, I just want to focus on today's matches.
오늘 꼭 올라가겠습니다.
네, 과연 그럴 수 있을지 지켜보겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
네. 자, 두 번째로
Alright, thank you,
만나볼
SOS. We're now going to go on to our next player here.
코드 S로 복귀한 선수입니다. 삼성 갤럭시 칸의 이용하 선수 만나보겠습니다.
And he's just been back here in Code S after a year away.
네, 1년여 만에 오셨습니다. 소감이 어떠세요?
This is Shine.
사실 여기 강남 이 경기장을 되게 오랜만에 왔는데 딱히
You just got back to Code S after a year. How do you feel today?
저만 좀 그동안 이 자리에
The studio looks pretty much the same. So, I feel pretty comfortable.
네, 정말 1년여 만에 오게 됐는데요.
But, having a match here today, I am a little bit nervous.
좀 마음에 드는 분이 계실 것 같아요. 어떠세요?
But when you look at your group, I think you're probably pretty happy, especially to meet Sulky.
선수도 좀 제 입장에서 좀 게임하기 어렵지 않은 상대이기도 맞지만 그 전에 좀 김유진 선수랑
He's not an easy opponent. He's a strong player.
선수라서
네.
아마 좀 김민철 선수보다
But I'm more concerned, in fact, about SOS in this case.
그렇습니다. 자, 그런데
I'm gonna have to think about how I'm gonna play my play against SOS.
동료분들, 삼성 갤럭시 칸 소속팀 32강에 올라왔던 두
Well, all of
명의
your
선수가
teammates,
모두 16강에 진출했습니다.
made it to the round of
또
16.
자극이 되나요?
굉장히 많이
What
자극을
are your
되는데
thoughts?
이제 저 같은 경우는 뒤에 쫄아서 이제 32강 얘기를 하고 있는데 이미 올라간 민수랑 병구 형 이제 16강.
Well, we're talking about the round of 32 right now, but those two players who made it have already made proper plans on how to make it to the round of 16. So
네, 그렇다면 마지막으로 이 파이팅 넘치는
I'm a bit envious so far.
되게 오랜만에
Today I'm going to make the round of 16, and I want to talk about how to make my play at the round of 16.
네, 알겠습니다. 오늘 활약 기대해 보겠습니다. 네. 자,
All right, thank you, Shine. We are going to go on to our third player now.
이뤄내고 있는 IM의 최용화 선수입니다. 바로 만나보겠습니다.
And now here in his third Code S is Younghwa.
자, 3회 연속 진출을 이뤄내고 있습니다. 소감이 어떠세요?
You made it 3 times in Code S. How do you feel today? I don't think too much about it, actually. I just focus on how to make my play optimized for advancing into the round of 16.
이번에는 조금 자신 있으세요?
네, 이번에는 준비도 열심히 했고.
You couldn't make it to the round of 32 before. Are you confident here now?
네.
자신 있어요.
그런데
It's been really tough for me
좀 좋지
to make it to the round of 16, but I think I'm going to bring good matches here today.
해보았는데 열심히 그냥 병원도 꾸준하게 다니고 있고.
네.
I've heard you have some problems with your eyes. How are your eyes feeling today?
괜찮은 경기할 수 있을 것 같습니다.
My eyes have been getting better. It's not completely healed. I do feel much better than before. I believe they're talking about LASIK surgery. Maybe. I believe so. He's not been wearing glasses. Oh, dehydrated eyes. Excuse me.
Gotta water your eyes every day.
Any last words to your fans or anything else to say before your match? I've prepared really hard today.
네, 알겠습니다. 오늘 활약 기대해
I'm just going to do my best.
네. 자, 오늘 마지막으로 만나볼
Now on to our final player. It's going to be Sulky.
SK텔레콤 T1에서 마지막 주자입니다. 김민철 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네,
And here is Sulky.
오셨습니다. 정말 오랜만에 뵀는데요. 소감이 어떠세요?
일단
How are you feeling today?
저번에 16강에서 떨어져가지고 좀 마음고생이 좀 심했는데
네.
이번에도
First of all, I was eliminated in the round of 16 last season, so I'm really disappointed about that.
그러니까 오늘도 진출하려고 왔어요.
네, 그때 제가 저 1위 하셔서 발렌타인데이 때 초콜릿 드렸는데 화이트데이 때 안
But nerf fun
계시더라고요. 저도
from the round of
그래서 좀
32, so I'm going to make it to the
아쉬웠는데요.
round of 16 here today.
그때 참 상대들이 막강했는데 오늘 조편성 어떠신가요?
So the last season you had a tough group. How do you feel about this group here?
네. 저는 개인적으로 근데 개인 리그는 좀 다르다고 생각을 해서
Many people think my group is really strong, but I think it's just okay.
네, 이용환 선수에게 상대전적인
I should be taking first place today.
있는데 개인 리그는 다르다 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 지금 각종 커뮤니티에서 지금 SK텔레콤의 폭탄이 드디어 김민철 선수에게 왔다 이런 이야기들이 오가고 있습니다. 100% 진출
A lot of the
가능할까요?
online community has been talking about the old SK Telecom players
진출해야지 좀
making the round of
팀원들한테
16.
제가 좀 민망할 것 같아요.
The fans are wondering if you're going to make it the round of 16 here today.
그래서 그냥 근데 사실 좁을
If I can't make the round of 16, I'm going to be pretty ashamed of myself.
그래서 쉽게 진출할 수 있을 것 같아요.
All I'm thinking about right now is getting first spot here today.
팬들에게 한마디 해주시죠.
일단 제가 작년 때도 이맘때쯤부터 잘하기 시작했거든요.
Any words to your fans?
다시 옛날
Well, last year around this
기량을
season,
보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
I really pulled out my best performances. I'm feeling really confident here. I'm feeling really confident here today.
감사합니다.
네. 자, 이렇게 해서 오늘 32강 D조 경기에 나서는 선수들을
Alright.
모두
Okay.
만나봤습니다.
You know, while you do all that,
힘든데요.
talking of the translator.
All my
and whatnot,
yapping.
Yeah,
my
like the
trap.
thing is, if I just lean back in my chair, I can watch them downstairs. I want to get a Nerf football and just be like, "Hey, Tasis, watch this," and just throw in a
Spitball.
Nerf football hits him. I think that'd be funny.
I wish we had gone to elementary school together, Artosis, because we
We
would have had
would've
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot of fun. Here are our beginning matches. It's SOS against Shine, and then Younghwa against Sulky. So no Terrence here. Terrence pretty sparse in this Code S season.
Pretty sick group. It should be a lot of fun, Tasis, as you were talking about earlier. A lot of different play styles here. A ton of skill between SOS and Sulky. Shine and Younghwa cannot be underestimated. Younghwa, one of the safest, strongest Protosses, and Shine, literally just the ladder combined into one human.
The Shine is the ladder. I'd say, yeah, Younghwa and Shine. You got Younghwa. You got what the kind of practice that makes you get high on the ladder, playing against faceless badasses, and being consistently good. And then you have Shine, the embodiment of what we all probably feel like we experience on the ladder.
Yes, exactly.
Did I get it?
But that's what we have here. It's kind of interesting when you think of it. And then we have like the two mega champions in SOS and Sulky. So of course everyone's probably thinking SOS and Sulky get out, but do not underestimate these other two players.
Shine is the wild card player here because he plays so weird, so cheesy. Younghwa's very good, but
He's a draw too. He's not a draw 4. He's a draw 2.
yeah, you might
played a lot of
you
Uno,
might
right?
coin in Shine and just skew the game in your favor, man.
Did you play Uno much as a child?
Very little bit.
Okay.
Why?
I was just wondering.
Okay.
That's all. Like, Tasis, did you have eggs for breakfast? You're like, no.
You're like, oh, never mind.
All right.
I was wondering.
Yeah. You're like,
So-
yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Here's SOS. When this guy plays, it's like the beautiful mind music comes on. Like
Yeah.
he's so brilliant, and really, he's had such massive success here. Not just in tournament winnings, but financially as well, because those tournaments had such massive prize pools. I think he's great, but cannot count out Shine in this case because Shine's playstyle is so weird it might catch even SOS off guard. And I feel like a lot of the red herrings that SOS throws out here to offset his opponent's build order or mindset are may fall on blind eyes, deaf ears. I mean, it just might not be affecting
Shine doesn't care what you're doing. All he cares is what he's doing.
Yeah.
And we've
Shine
seen this.
is kind of like if there was a multiplayer version of the final boss, if it was like single player, but it was like you're playing against computer controlled fantasy opponents, it would be Shine would be the one that doesn't make any sense. You could have a computer do this perfectly.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Kind of the
I
final
can't disagree.
boss, pro gamer, esports fan fiction stuff. Now, in this game here, game number 1 is going to be on Overgrowth.
I would say things like, oh, this is really good for Shine because this is a good map for ZVP. But I'm not going to say things like that in this match because SOS and Shine are both players that kind of ignore what the balance of a map is and do their own thing.
That's very true.
When you have more standard games, that's when map balance comes into play a little bit more.
Yeah,
and of course it could come into play here, but it's like these two players are examples of ones that don't matter as much.
The early game with these two players is going to be something we're going to want to eyeball even more so than other players because there's a lot of subtle things these guys both tend to do early on. Let's see here. Do you think there's a chance of SOS cannon rushing or cheesing? He has done that before and more than most.
I don't think he's going to cannon rush.
Don't think so?
No. I think what he's going to do is going to open Forge first and check with his pro, but I don't think there's going to be like a resulting like kill your hat shoot.
Okay, with Shine here, I think we could both agree though we're probably going to see some very out there Shine-like play.
Probably.
And that game is now loaded up. Welcome to game number 1 here in this group, the round of 32 in today's GSL Code S. In the last few months, he's already won $100,000. He is
GNL Green Wings SOS 김유진.
In fact, in the last 6 months, he's won $200,000.
$1 million man.
Almost.
And in the upper right, we have our out-of-control Zerg player. How will he play this time? We'll see. He is
삼성 갤럭시 칸 샤인 이영환.
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. That was you.
That was you.
That was you, Tasteless. That was very unprofessional. And it's weird that you're trying to blame it on me, too. That's really weird, Tasteless.
We got a drone scout coming down here. And I think you're right. We probably will see a forge expand. Probe is coming down now.
Well, with the probe going, I think he wants to Nexus first.
Nope.
Oh, okay. This makes more sense. This is like what I would expect for you to do against Shine. Like, the thing is, a player like Shine, sometimes I wish instead of being a commentator, I could be like a coach where I could like take a player like Shine and just write a book on what you need to do to make sure you beat him. And this is one of the things. This is like exactly what you want to open with to make sure you don't die.
Looks like he is possibly going to cannon rush here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just decided he's going to cannon rush basically no matter what.
Well, this might not be a bad idea against somebody like Shine because this is taking the control away from Shine. This is taking the tempo, putting it in your hands. So he may just put a default cannon. Oh my god, yeah, our observer just pointed this out. Really nice job, Heaven. He can actually make a cannon at that location and on the other side of that area over there.
That's really handsome. And we do have the offensive hatchery, of course, with the 2 cannons. While the hatchery can finish, it would only finish to try to get 2 lings out to get up the ramp and have the creep stay a little bit longer. No way it can really do anything too scary. But yeah, this is like out of vision of the drone.
And I believe this cannon would cover the other side, on the left side, if you want to put a cannon over there where the third would be.
I think so.
Wait, let's see if we can get a shot of it again. Pylon?
Yeah,
that
I think
will barely cover the edge of it.
Really kind of cool and interesting strat here by SOS. Not what I was expecting, but remember, he is someone very well known for cannon rushes.
Okay, so the lings are coming down here now. This hatchery,
I think he wants to flank those cannons with lings and broodlings.
You might be right.
Or maybe utilize the broodlings to tank shots
I
while the
actually
lings
really
are at the
enjoy
ramp.
watching these two play against each other. Now, keep in mind, he does want to cannon rush both these hatcheries here. Oh, that actually was, I think,
it looks
canceled.
like he canceled.
Yeah.
Because I don't think those 2 cannons killed that. But yeah,
So-
this is like, he might get ridiculously far ahead pretty soon here. If he cannon pushes out, yeah, he's gonna push into this and maybe even go to the 3rd.
You know, what's funny is that this is the most cost-effective cannon rush for 2 expansions. You are literally cannon rushing 2 bases for the price of 1.
I don't know if he can actually get the 3rd with this.
I think he can.
He
We
might
can make
be
another
able to.
pylon. He can make another pylon there.
Yeah.
He can make a cannon there.
Well,
and
he
then make a
definitely
pylon,
has to make the other.
and he can leapfrog it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now, is he going to do it, though? He may have decided it's too late. Surprise.
Shine has to be a little bit surprised right now, that's for sure. I like how he's just letting that cannon go first. Got to add another cannon over here, make sure he gets the cancel on this.
I guarantee
just
you
the time
Shine has
so
not
that
played
you
a game quite like this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, I probably should have gotten that probe over there.
Normally he's the one with shenanigans like this.
Okay, so he's going to try to send this probe around here.
Whoa.
And he's not looking, he really, oh man.
If Shine was on attack
Get that
move,
probe!
he might have been able to get that probe, but instead, here we are, Tasteless, and it's time for some spines.
Oh man, poorly placed.
Bunch of hurt drones right now. So Shine already taking his 3rd base down here, as we see. SOS getting that Cybernetics core. Kind of a wild start to this
There's
one.
a real art to cannon rushing like this, by the way. I mean, it's a real balance of how much you're actually spending versus how much you're actually delaying or destroying, because...
Yeah, like this time, he's not going to get the hatchery, but he's going to deny a few mineral patches and one of the gases. Like, that's what this is going to do for him. But not even for long, because as those spines finish, he can just walk them up, plant them, and send in the lings, and he'll be able to kill this off.
Yeah, I think he maybe just not made this pylon, made one other cannon. This would probably be a little bit more cost-effective, but I think SOS should be okay, considering how much he's actually done.
Yeah, I think no other cannon actually fits there. I think that's...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Not one that would have to be powered by the pylon that's already exposed.
Yeah.
If he was going to make that pylon and actually use it, he should have made it up more, but it wouldn't have been worth it anyways.
Agreed on that. I think he was putting it down there to try to block like anything running in to kill it or something, but
Did
it
he
wasn't going to be
actually
the case.
get it with a spine crawler, hit the pylon from the other side without the cannon hitting it?
Oh,
These
he
spots
might be
are
able
pretty
to.
weird.
Yeah, it's a interesting situation. But, you know, if he does tech up into roaches or something like that, it's pretty easy to just go ahead and kill that off. Anyways, he is clearing this out. He is going to have his 3 bases up. Now, what is SOS going to go for here tech-wise? I feel like he should be going Stargate.
You know what you want to do if you do a cannon rush like this and you stop their hatchery at that natural, the Zergs spread out enough that you can punish them in more locations. I mean, Normally Zerg would have, the second and the third being defended. Here it's what would be the third and what would be the fourth. So they're very spread out. And technically the main is still somewhat exposed. So you can go for a Stargate. There is the possibility. I would actually say possibly if he did some kind of strong ground push here.
Well, it looks like he's
going
going for
to get in there.
Yeah, he's going for a 4-gate +1 here.
I think in this case this is a good move because Zerg is somewhat dependent on spine crawlers, excuse me. Oh, that's an interestingly timed. Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
I love this.
Wow.
This is so smart. This is so SOS because, obviously you need to make roaches to stop this. When you go cannon rush into a warp gate attack.
With a Void Rays?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
He could make some Phoenixes to harass at first, but I think Void Rays are perfect because whenever something like this happens with a cannon rush followed up by a warp gate attack, they always make a bunch of roaches. That's like how they stomp it. And now with these Zealots here, we should be seeing a lot of roaches pop out.
And yeah, from here, cranking out these Void Rays, this could be a very systematic destruction. Is he going to get the pylon in time? Oh, okay, barely gets those Zealots out.
Yeah,
a very systematic deconstruction here of Shine from SOS. I mean, boy, he's making Phoenixes? What?
Yeah, I think it's okay to start with a couple Phoenixes, but I'm sure he'll go into Void Rays.
Okay.
As we see a bunch of roaches popping out, it just doesn't make sense not to. But if you can get 2 to 4 Phoenixes out, or maybe even up to 6, imagine the amount of damage you can do against all these spread out bases. You can kill so many Overlords. It's going to be pretty fantastic.
More Zealots coming up here now. He has not gotten that Queen yet in the back. Nice, taking out this hatchery. Meanwhile, more Zealots actually hitting the second right over here where the hatchery's being constructed. Wow, Shine just taps out. SOS too good.
He just got stomped by SOS there.
$1 Million Man!
That's so well played. Wow.
That was...
I'm surprised he didn't get a quicker Roach Warren because anytime you get Cannon Rush like this and it works, like, the most obvious follow-up is a Warp Gate attack. And the thing is, I always preach that you shouldn't even do the Warp Gate attack because it's so obvious that they will have roaches.
It's the next move.
Yeah.
But the way that he had set up for the Stargate to come out next, that's a tough one. And of course, that's not what Shine's used to. Shine's used to being the one that's rushed, being the one that's not in control. So that was a really smart opener there by SOS.
The Rusher becomes the Rushed.
The Rashid.
The Rashid.
The Rashid, if you will.
I think that's a name.
Map number 2 here. Map choice, by the way, going to Shine is Way Station here.
He has chosen Way Station before. In fact, he's one of only 2 players that we've had in GSL so far to choose Way Station, along with, I believe it was Journey, the Terran player in Code A. It's a crazy pick because the map is so random.
It is.
It's 2 different maps in one, but that shows Shine for you. Thing is, he'll probably spawn close. That's what he did last time. It's a good strat.
That's
when you know where you're going
to
spawn. Where you're going to spawn. Thing is, your opponent can't prepare for this as much either.
No,
but you can't play as many practice games. It's impossible.
Well, this should put SOS in a pretty bad spot for this game, particularly with the map, and then with the fact that Shine, it's not only Shine as his opponent, but Shine is picking it. That says a lot about Shine here. We should expect something pretty out of the ordinary here. Let's see how SOS handles this. It looks like game number 2 is now loaded up. So get out there, tell your friends to tune in to the biggest, best, longest lasting esports show of all time here. Now with SOS against Shine in the GSL Code S.